all of the money in crypto, the total market cap of crypto, is the equivalent to some companies on the S&P 500. One company. We're talking all of crypto has that much money of one. So once more money starts flowing in, and I believe we'll be at that $3.5 trillion market cap soon, look out. This is the accumulation phase.
Bro, I agree with you, man. When you put that into very good perspective, like the way you said it, man, it just makes you think that how small crypto is right now. Like, it's ridiculous,
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to your, hey buddy. Welcome to your Daily Fix, Pope. Have you daily fixed today yet?
Oh, I have not. It's show 77.
77, Midnight Monday, Late Night Edition, April 30th, man.
That is also crazy. Where did April go?
I don't know.
Insane. And April followed, typical April month of shit. That's kind of been the protocol of April, but here we are. Still going strong.
That's good. I think, obviously we're going to do Midnight Monday sesh. Let's go. Duke up in the background. Loving it. Yeah, we're going to, talk money flow cycle, how the money's moving in the market. So we are not a bunch of idiots. Hazy wants to know if this is shitcoin training.
We cover them from time to time, but no, we do sensible training here, man. You'll see if you're just tuning in, Hazy. Stick around for a little bit. We'll show you how we trade the market with our tools and our strategy. And this is what I do. You're just following along with me, and this is what I do for my living.
Yeah, and when you do shit coins, you do it with a small amount, and you do it.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's your first time here.
Oh, yeah. No way. Welcome, man.
What's up, buddy?
Or I said man or woman. And if you like what you see and you want to join our Discord, it is open. Our tools are open for you to use. We have our own algorithms that we walk through. And part of our strategy is to watch the money flow cycle. Should I get into it?
Yeah. Let's do the money flow cycle. Now, for the new person that's here, this is our top 4. This is our how the money's moving. Our market cap, our dominance, our Bitcoin, and our ETH. And this is what we look at to make sure we don't do anything stupid. Take it away, Pope.
The total market cap is all the money in crypto. And in that short was a clip from Crypto Junkies this weekend, a show we helped produce with Remy, Ryan, and Amir. And right now, our market cap is $2.275 trillion. And when you trade understanding what direction the market cap is going, it gives you more percentages per trade typically. Our tools help you understand movement and direction and market mentality. So we've had this sketched up for quite some time. Gray is our daily lines. We are on the daily looking at all the money. And these 2 lines here, let's clean it up and make it easy for everybody to understand. We'll get rid of the drawings. This is a micro bear. This is one of our tools here, micro bears and bulls. And what we're going to do is we're going to take away Bollinger Bands. And when we know in any market there's ups and downs, there's micro bears, there's micro bulls. And these crosses here indicate when they shift. And what I like to do is I like to buy in the belly of the micro bear and sell in the curves of the micro bulls. And this tool helps us understand where we are, and we can lie our technical analysis over it to get confluence. Is this the chart for entire crypto? Yes. So this is all of the money for every single cryptocurrency that is out there. Yeah, right now we're at 2.274 for the daily. Let's have a look what happened. We gave a few different case scenarios. We said worst case, it could become a double bottom and could come down to this level here at that 2.18, which is still not a panic for me. This is all accumulation phase now. This is where you should be stacking your various projects that you're looking at. Danger is down here. Anytime we start to get out of this consolidation box of the 2.12, that's where I'm going to start looking at taking stop losses and exiting and trying to figure out what the heck is going on. We're not in that phase. Last week, we talked about how we would like to see this curl, and it could come down to three possible situations. Level out here and hold our daily support, make a double bottom and come down to here, or try to get this belly and go back towards the upside, which we said our resistance would be here, here, and then at these levels. And so far, it's taken a little mix of door number one and door number two. It held this line. And if I remember correctly, when we were talking about it originally, it was actually below it. So we know it came all the way back up, moved over. This is healthy. This is very healthy growth. Let's look. If you were swing trading this, you probably had a good week. $90 billion was injected in 12 hours. Now, a bunch of that has come back, almost half. But look where it's holding. Just above this daily support. We did make a double bottom on the 4 hour like we talked about. Boom, boom. But here's the thing. On the 4 hour right now, I have no indication if this is moving to the up or the downside. And this is why I didn't jump on, because I said, hey, you're going to know if you're in the Discord if I'm going to do another round of buys. And I was going to get on. We call it the hunt for those that are new. We're hunting for entries. Well, right now, I don't know if we have them. We're in the middle in stochastic. We're in the middle of RSI. Our micro bear and bull is not indicating to the top or to the bottom side action. We know when the lines are spread apart like this, that it's volatility, in this case, dollar value in the total market cap. If it was a token, it would be the value of that token. And where we started to turn around, we almost got the cross. I mean, Jesus. Well, I probably shouldn't say that when you're talking about crosses. But it looks like we're coming, right?
Sorry.
Nailed it. I can say that. We are holding this area of consolidation on the 4 hour. And when we throw our lines in, we still have not broken out of this bottom 4 hour. Here's our top bodies. I think we went to wicks. And now we've got a few extremities since we've done this. This is all old TA. It's just been happening to continue to follow it. So probably tomorrow we'll get rid of the squiggles and we'll look at how things are happening. On the daily, it's kind of played out how we were looking in here. This consolidation in here that we drew to want to pull up. It has to settle above this 2.29 to become bullish again. Otherwise we could easily come right back down to these trend lines, which has been given great buying opportunities. As I said in the Discord, a lot of these entries on these tokens we took, they're not far off. Some are slightly below, some are still in profit, and to be able to withstand everything that's going on, this is the time where they want to shake you out of the market. Boring. They want to bore you. We've been talking about how it's going to be sideways chop. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this for the next 2 months. Just kind of up and down and up and down and all that kind of when we talk about the total the total market cap and value. Oops. Oh my goodness. I thought I hit it. Sorry. So right now, I'm still not panicking. I'm seeing excellent areas for accumulation. There is still a possibility that a double bottom could play out. It really needs to break this consolidation to the upward side and retest the $2.38 trillion. So, and this money is doing it in fairly decent amounts of time, but we really need to get that micro bull cross back on the 4-hour and on the daily to say, hey, we're back in motion. We're back to the upside. We don't have it yet. But as I said, I always like to buy bellies. I like to grab these wicks with stink bids.
As we're going and we're looking at that screen, and it looks like a, coming up to this double bottom, but not exactly sure. I'm always a little confused about how exact it needs to look and consider to be a double bottom, like a quoted double bottom,
I mean, I've seen some people call technical analysis on the it's like a 2-year-old did it over the drawing, and they're just trying to keep them happy and say, "Yay, it matches."
Yeah.
No, I mean, you don't want to have to be able to stretch it too much. Don't force TA if it's not
Yeah.
there. And in patience, if we don't know, we don't make decisions. We wait it out, and that wins the majority of the time. So this was our dominance. And remember, we drew this triangle and we said, once we have a bullish wedge, price either goes out to the upside or the downside, and we're probably going to get this cross here. This cross wasn't here when we did it. Well, we were off by a little bit, and we made the motion to the downside. Now, I was saying I wanted motion to the upside because that means money is coming into the market in these cases. The only time dominance going down is good is when the total market cap stays the same or increases. If market cap goes down and dominance goes up, alts are bleeding. So this is why we always look at these two together, because I don't trade Bitcoin or anything because it's slow percentages. These double digits and these good gains and these runs are during the alt runs. And we haven't had our alt run. You'll hear me say this over and over and over. We're still in a Bitcoin cycle.
And the waiting game it's a lot. It's hard not to get bored, like you were saying, and then make decisions, right?
This is a great
put money in, yeah.
This is a great time to pick up a hobby, touch grass, smoke grass, go out, enjoy, and do your thing. Now, for those that are new, we gave 2 entries in this belly of the bear. This one hit, and this one was our stink bid, and it didn't hit until later. And we just left it because we've been talking about it. This here was our geopolitical events of bombs, and then, round 2. So we've been talking about how do you play out a situation of where you get in, a black swan event happens, and how do you recover from that financially, or how do you trade that as a trader? Because these situations are going to happen. Excuse me for a sec. Thank you. So when we were talking about this last, we were looking at how these lines were still pointing down, and we weren't sure how deep this could go. And we can see on Saturday, I mean, that wick came right down to the support line we had. And then this one didn't quite make it down to here, but definitely in between the two. Supreme's in the house. Man, you've been making some good tweets lately, man. You're not following Supreme Crypto. He's one of our mods. You really should be. This dude nails it. He
loves that guy. Loves that guy.
And he's been through it all too, thick or thin as a trader, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these 2 lines we're about to get rid of. What we said when this was coming down is we wanted it to settle here, and if it could settle here, we would see it extend in the triangle this way. Well, clearly it didn't happen. Geopolitical events happened. Now, that pattern is still possible in this wedge. Now, we can see that we haven't had our trend line adjusted here in some time for the daily. We're on the daily right now. Last scan, we're about right there. Good enough for quick and dirty. So anywhere in the realm of possibility down to these lines is still possible for Bitcoin. But here's the thing. We're still holding this consolidation triangle, or sorry, rectangle from all the way late February. We've gone up, highest point of Bitcoin, all-time high. Dudes had so much tokens, they cashed out, gangster move. No surprise, a whole bunch of people sold off at its all-time high, recovery, geopolitical. So we could still have the potential on the daily or a double bottom. It could be ugly, like it might come over here and then down there kind of a thing. But the pattern is still there. Now, what's going to break it is, what's going to make it not follow that is if it can follow the trend and stay up on this trend. And that's the first time we've adjusted that daily trend in quite some time. So it's been doing a fairly good job of holding the line. But I'm going to be honest, my gut feeling is probably not so much. It would make sense to me still to have a little bit of downward pressure, flush out the boredom. But we can see we are starting to get these curls here. How we talked about here could still go down. They've mellowed out. Let's zoom in on that. This is where we were looking before. It's always easy to see the data when it's right in front of you, but you got to remember when we were looking at it, what it looks like. So when this next candle comes in, we'll see our micro bear and bull line and how we didn't have formation of a curl to the upside until we just drew these ones here now. This was potential. Because this was potential, we still believe that to be downward pressure. And that's where we were on Friday. We didn't have any of this curl or activity yet, and this entry still is reasonable. Now, right there, you can see how it just started to curl. Will it curl enough to follow this trend line and continue up? Well, we know what's going to be the deciding factor of that is the total market cap. Money needs to come in because the first place money goes when it floods into the market is Bitcoin.
Well, and also, I mean, when we're in Bitcoin, we can go in further, look at the 2-hour, 4-hour, and what that means in relation to the day also.
Well, I was going to go more into the other Bitcoin that we did for you when you asked, because we've been marking this one up for so long, and we did that extra one. So
do that fresh markup.
We'll have a quick look at that, or do you after Ethereum, or do you want to jump into Ethereum first?
No, we'll do ETH. We'll finish off the money flow.
So ETH, if you are new, we've been doing this since January. We've called ETH all the way up to where it didn't finish the cup and handle here. That was our first major mistake with ETH. And then now, between our two entries, a lower entry was having more. So we're actually sitting in profit at the moment. And this was the curve we wanted to see for the price action last week. And it's actually performed better. But at the moment, it still might be going down. And we can see we haven't updated our trend lines or anything going on in a long time. It's still consolidating in this weekly purple. So this purple shaded area with the gold lines is weekly. And it's just shy of the middle of the weekly. It has all the, I guess we can update it here. It has a very bullish pattern. It wants to break and retest and run. Same thing. The only thing that's going to do that is the total market cap. And right now, I think we are in a downward position. So I think we're probably going to walk down this line into these areas here with Ethereum for a bit. You'll catch some wicks in here before we see a move to the upside. So for this week ahead, I would really like to see that, and we'll probably, get somewhere in here to maybe even somewhere in there. It might be too late. It might be on the turnaround, but stochastic is telling me it's in a sell position. But it's also the closest it's been to the median, the dotted white line in here, in a long time. This could be strength on the daily. 4 hour, just fired our micro bear, wanting to curl, hold this area. So that's where I think you might get some wicks is in this area. This still needs to come down since we just got the micro bear.
I mean, and the spread's not too crazy, but it's hard to tell. It may pop up and down for the first time,
right? Here it is. Spread's not too crazy. Boom. Got all the way down here, right? So it is a possibility that you're going to catch some of these areas on wicks after a micro bear on the 4 hour. But this, as we know, can turn into a big ass green candle like this in seconds as soon as the money flows in. And that's why we always watch the total market cap. You wanted to see Bitcoin a little cleaner last time, and we walked through on the weekly what was happening. So anything in gold lines is your weekly, and we can see how this has become our consolidation area. Resistance all here, to support, to obviously resistance at our all-time high. We have still been in this parallel channel on the upwards trend. Now, these gray lines we know are daily because I use gray for days if you're new. So these are your support and resistance levels on your dailies and the grays. Now, weeklies are always going to be stronger than dailies and vice versa. So this whole total consolidation box that we're looking at here is about 23%, which for Bitcoin is huge. For alts, not so much. But so we drew this possible double bottom. When did you ask to do this? A week ago? And it played out. I mean, here's our bottom, and there's your wick from yesterday. I can't get much closer than that. So here, if we add our indicators, it's telling us just what we were looking at before. It wants to curl and turn around and follow these trend lines. It has all the potential in the world, I still think, to come down to here. And the only thing that's going to dictate it is the total market cap, not to sound like a broken record. Does that answer all your questions, Crypto Katie?
It does. I'm sorry I wasn't on there for a quick second. My computer's going to die. So if I drop and bing back in, which I may have to take a second while you continue. Or are we continuing on to our trades?
All right.
Beautifully timed, by the way.
Thank you. I get better at it. I'm getting better.
All right. I may not be here for a minute or two.
No worries.
Okay.
Primo makes us look good. That's is our man in the background. He does all those kind of things. So for those that are new that have tuned in, I go on the hunt. I look for good entries based on the micro bellies, and then I say where I'm getting in. I post them, and we go from there. And I have I can't remember how many now, but we have a bunch. And we sadly got in right before the black swan. Crystal ball does not help with black swans, but trading experience does. So here were our 3 entries. How we do entries when we go into something is we don't say you get $1,000. We don't just go in with $1,000 at one price point. We divide it up into three different price points to dollar cost average our entry. And of course, geopolitical events brought us down. And this was round 2 of bombs, unfortunately. Now, you'll see in some trades, different tokens responded differently and had a little more strength. And some are in the position right now. And strategy, when we did this, and when we talk about a lot with NFAOFC, is you're never all in a trade because black swans can happen. You can get a tweet from Elon or China and stuff can shit the bed. So if you don't have capital on the sidelines, you can't maximize those opportunities when they happen. And I talk about it all the time as a trader sitting there watching a slush fund of cash not working. That gets at you, especially when you're doing well in other trades. But you're so happy you have it when this kind of shit happens. So to make sure you respond correctly, and hopefully you can be in situations where you have to match your entries up here down here, because as soon as you start to turn around, you can be in profit. Otherwise, you're doing what's called round tripping. You bought in here, you don't want to sell at a loss. You have to wait for it to come all the way back up. We'll see some have already, which is insane for some of these, and some are still just following all the kind of same systems. Not much to say here. Anywhere in here, I still believe for 1 inch is a great entry for 1 inch. All of these trades, if you're new watching, is a lot of these right now, we're trying to finish the cup and handle pattern that has been very prominent this bull run. A lot of tokens have already done it. Not all tokens do it at the same time. And finding good projects and finding the right entries at them, being patient with them, we can start to see some pretty decent returns. If you've been following us since January, we've had some stellar returns. So this more lately, these last few weeks, has been lessons in how do you handle black swan events? How do you handle when you enter something and it crashes? So that your capital isn't tied up as long. Now, we're starting to see this belly on our micro bear for 1 inch. Okay, so this is where we want to start to see the curl. It seems to be holding in this area on the daily. This is showing strength in here for 1 inch. We might still get some wicks down into here. So if you're not in, you might get in at the 0.40 you might get a stink bid somewhere in there. Highly unlikely. We haven't had one down in this while in quite some time. There is a little pointing to the downward side. We are just left a sell position with stochastic. You have your entry with Bollinger, and it's the first time we've been close to that median in a long time. This is showing compression. 1 inch wants to pump soon, in my opinion. As we know, all comes down to market cap. Prime position, though, looking healthy, happy with it. And we'll see a lot of them are probably in this similar position. The belly, this is where I like to get in, are on these bellies and get out. You know, there's 5, there's 10, and this is localized on a 4-hour, right? So again, our goals with these, this one is 118% for Ave. Algorand is in profits from following strategy. Here were our bottom 2 entries. It may be coming right back down to this daily support. We can see this spread on our micro bear wanting to curl. We wanted it to curl here and hold this 4-hour consolidation zone in here. It did clearly. So now it seems to be in this 4-hour holding this daily support. And this is its swing spread at the moment on the smaller time frames, being roughly about 11%. Needs to hold this bottom to get back up to the top, but could be a quick swing trade. I mean, it was available here. We even talked about possible, you know, getting it on these down here. Just didn't do that. Oh. Avalanche has been quite possibly our largest disappointment lately for all the stuff that's supposed to be built on it. We even said, question mark, will it go lower than here? No, it's been holding it at the very least. And it looks like now we're about to get the pinch of the micro bull and finally start to see this curl. Finally, this is what we've been waiting for so long. We were hoping it would consolidate here and then start to step up. Will it do it from, can we just take all this, move it down here and see if it'll go? It's what it needs to do. I mean, this was the bad news bear bottom. Critical, the reason these candles here are different is another indicator of ours called critical fear and greed. Works in real time, doesn't have a delay. And it's quite nice. It fires on all time frames. Which has been a little disappointing, but still good position. Like buying this now and holding this for 2 months, thank me later. Cello, we've done really well with cello this year. This was one from January. Same thing, we're going to the, you know, we want to finish this nice cup and handle. This was an early January pick there, you know, and look at that ride it got to take. You're new, just tuning in. Definitely watch the hunts when I do them. You know, that was a quick 200 there if you got out, but nobody does the bottoms and the tops. But we did recommend getting in and out multiple times. And now it's back to a great position to get in. What we were talking about here with all these squiggles, is the reason we're talking about here is we have a micro bear here. Let's turn off our drawings for now. This was our last micro bear, turned into a micro bull, and we got another micro bear here. And what we did, which was important, is we made higher lows and higher highs from the last micro bear. This one needs to do the same. It needs to pull up, which it is right now, and then needs to turn around. Our localized high on the 4-hour is that $1.17 mark. Correction, $1.33, which is about 66%. Same thing, cup and handles, what we want to finish. On the weekly, you're in a buy position, showing lots of strength, looking good. On the daily, it's wanting to curl. It's wanting to come up to that micro bull again. So you might get some wicks in these areas in the lower time frames. And if you're curious, you just zoom in and be patient. you know. And look what it did. So we were talking about the circle here being the higher lows on the 4 than here, and how important that was to be bullish. It did it. But we said when it was coming down, ideally, we'd like to curl like that. In a perfect world, it didn't. But we said it could also come down to here, and it could also come down to here. Well, it came down right down to that daily support that we put, and it's been holding this line, which is still above our lowest entry. Not bad. Cello will be good. All of these trades, if you're new just watching too, these trades are for longer time. These are not swing trades for me in and out. These are designed to be 3, 4, 7-week trades. You know, like we're going for targets on weekly consolidation areas. So dot has just also been painful, and we said, look where we said we gave it 3 possibilities. Curve here, could curve here. Will it come down to this weekly support was our question. Well, when we take the drawings away, what do we see with our micro bear? And still pointing down, still spread far apart. There is no belly. We're going to see probably around these prices again. And
Yeah, we've been faked out by that little precursor belly a few times here now.
So dot is still indicating a little bit of probably pain. On 4-hour wicks, you'll probably catch something down in here. Makes sense. We haven't curled yet. And if we don't get money coming in the total market cap, oh yeah, we'll be down in these areas. Dot, you're breaking my heart.
Dot's been fun to watch, even if it's breaking your heart right now.
Phantom, we covered on the show saying if you wanted to take profit up here, no one will ever fault you for taking profit. No one ever goes broke by taking profit. Just with IRLs right now, we're not swing trading these, 10s, 12s. What are these? We'll take the middle of our 2 bottom entries to the top, 14%. If you took that, rebought the bottom or rebought right now, that's what it's about if you have those kind of times. So power to you if you did it. Our bottom entry is still showing to be quite strong. And we're in profits from the recovery of the black swan at the moment. And it looks like it just wants to compress, get a micro bull. And we're going to probably be retesting. Well, we know we'll retest this area and then our weekly trend line here. So Phantom looking good for the turnaround, showing some nice strength in here. I'm willing to bet whatever this was related to Bitcoin and the total market cap dropping. Am I entering anything right now? No, any of these entries I think we have are still great. I really want to see if our market cap levels off and calms down before we try to start catching falling knives. Fetch has been another lackluster. I mean, we're in profit from our bottom entry, which we hit 3 times, which was nice. But it's been really struggling here, but starting to curl, starting to want to hold this area, which is nice because it is on this micro bear, a higher level of support than its last, which is bullish. And I mean, since our bottom entry, 12%, not in 6 days because our bottom entry hit over here. But long term, we're still looking at that over 52%. Holy smokes, what happened to Filecoin? We've been away all day, so this is, like many times, sometimes the first time I see the charts. Ironically, this was an entry we gave way back when, after these two, said I wasn't going to take it, but I gave it thinking it would be hit. It clearly hit, and you can see it's currently at its price, right at that belly, wanting to turn and go. Filecoin is one right now where we are slightly down from all of our entries. With full expectation, not financial advice, fucking course, to get to some previous levels with the AI and everything that's going on in the ecosystem. I think in here would probably be our highest possibility to get out, but still lots of potential with Filecoin. H-bar, this pumped somewhere in here on our show from all of our entries. I said I would not blame anyone for wanting to take profit. A bunch did, and then have rebought down at our previous entry. This has been great. All of these tokens I have just entered at our entered prices. I'm continuing to hold for the next weeks for the sake of this trading series. If you did take profits, rebuy in and continue this realm. Awesome. From our lowest entry to its all-time high. So 139% in 4 days, and then has pulled back. Man, IRL gets in the way of some good TPs at the mall.
Yeah, it sure does.
I'm right. There's always another trade.
Yeah.
Link. I think this was another one on the show, or I think you and I were having dinner when this wick hit on the weekly, and I said, well, now would be a good time to cash out. Same thing, micro bear, making a higher low than the last micro bear. Bullish. I have no intent of selling Chainlink for quite some time at these entries from our previous entries. And if you're not bag holding at least a small amount of Link for this run, crazy. Telcoin we never entered, even though we gave entries. I'll be skipping that. Telos. This is interesting because this is one that just rocketed. Same thing we said, take profits. But we weren't, as we weren't around our machines. And we said once we get this cross, which we did, it could hold here and consolidate. But it really needed to hold this level, because if it didn't hold this level, we said, oh, it would probably come down to this level and consolidate. Huh.
That was a good call.
You know, so I hope if anybody took profits when I said take profits, and they did. If you haven't got into Telos, anywhere around nowish, soonish, let's see this curve a little more. We might get a little more down into these areas for some price action, but still massively in profits from when we're doing. And like I said, this is one of the teacup bullish patterns that we're hoping to ride up to this next level. So from current price to next level, you know, some decent returns, but of course we'll be taking profits along the way. Well, you made it back in time with enough battery to get the last of the trades. If you're new, thanks for tuning in. We do this Monday to Friday, typically 7 p.m. PST, but on Mondays we do a late night edition anytime the market is crashing or there's major news going on, we also typically do extra streams either via the Discord or on the air. And then also with the hunt. And on Sundays, 11 o'clock a.m. PST, 8 o'clock in the UK, we have the Crypto Junkies with Amir and Ryan. And I think that's
So
enough.
great. It was so great yesterday.
That was fun.
Such a great show. Yeah, it was a good time. I had so many things I wanted to say, but I wasn't on stage. But I was in it. I was with them. No, it was great. Love hanging out with those guys and watching their TA. They just have such a different vibe. Also, because we had Hazy here, you know, when we mentioned going to sign up and everything, when you pop in there and give us your email and everything, you have access to the Discord, and then you have a ton of modules to teach you kind of these really great, thorough kind of basics to get you up to this point where you can do these things kind of safely and make sure you're covering your ass and knowing exactly kind of what we're talking about, and then follow along with us. It's pretty great. You get our indicators, which have been really helpful for people that are seasoned and unseasoned in this trading style. So yeah, it's pretty great. Come and join us, man.
And it's all on YouTube. You know, I can't lie and say, oh, we had it here or we talked about it there. No, it's all documented. It's all out there.
And you can see us on X as well, which is cool. Cool.
And it's all not financial advice.
Well, it's not. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Educational.
Almost educational.
Almost. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 1 a.m. for us. So we do enjoy doing the late show to get to the different time zones. And we'll
probably be doing more once the hunts happen and swing trading starts happening. So let's enjoy these nights where we may be able to get some sleep.
See you tomorrow.
Good, everybody. Later, Gators. Later, Pope.
Have a good night, eh?
See you later.